Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We are on days since last incident and on the MenopauseIt channel. I'm going to announce that it is 341 days since last incident. What am I talking about if you don't know? We're talking about menopause. And if you didn't know, a woman is considered fully in menopause if she's gone 365 days without a cycle, a menstrual cycle. Yes, we also say the word menstrual on this show, but that's where we are. That's where I am. And we'll see if that thing resets or not. I have no idea, but that's where we are. And I always like to announce where we are on that pendulum, but I always announce that right before I announce who we have as a guest on the show. I love talking to people who are somewhere on the menopause spectrum, whether they are a woman who is facing menopause, perimenopause, etc. Maybe there's somebody who is a specialist or expert that helps people with menopause, which is a big reason this channel exists. And that really describes today's guest. Plus, she has several aspects that also I really identify with. So I'm excited. Ericka Shannon is our guest. She's a fitness and wellness industry expert with 2 decades of experience under her belt, a pioneer and hype woman. I love that term, hype woman, for midlife women across the country. Ericka helps women on the menopause journey optimize their lives and reduce their symptoms through exercise, nutrition, sleep regulation. What is sleep? Stress management, and self-care. She's a certified menopause coach specialist and also holds certificates in understanding hormones, programming for the female client, and heart rate performance. She is also a Gen X mom, which I love because me too, of a tween daughter, and her humor and candor as a fellow perimenopausal woman put her clients at ease. And I know she's going to put us at ease because, yes, we want all of this here in the show. Ericka, thanks for joining me today.
Rachel, thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to have this conversation.
Yes. Oh, well, it's exciting to converse about this. The whole topic is exciting in a totally different way. So it's great. I honestly, this is why I started this channel, because I'm like, what is this whole thing and what's happening here? And can we talk about it and not just be like, oh, that's not something. It's not like Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno or menopause. I'm like, I'm sorry, both are coming out of the closet. But we'll get into that in a minute. I know I just barely gave you a super superficial, like a bio read off of you, but I've compressed that all. I want to toss it back over to you for a minute. Can you tell us more about yourself? What's your world like? Family, job, interests, geographic location, etc. Tell us about you, Ericka.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess the first and foremost thing, the thing that's the most front of my mind when you asked me to tell about myself is that I just moved. I made a major move from New Jersey. We've been in the New York metropolitan area for the last 26 years, but I haven't lived here in Pittsburgh since I was in high school, which is 30 years.
Wow.
And so we made the decision to relocate and we moved back to my hometown in June this past year. And it has been the single greatest thing, that the best decision we could have ever made. So I am on this podcast so happy and grateful just to be here. And I'm saying that because the last year before we moved here was so awful. And I think that's what happens at our phase of life, is that the pendulum swings so wildly.
Yeah.
So I am like in a good place right now, which is amazing.
Yes.
I have this little studio. I got my grandma chair back there that I'm obsessed with. I'm like really nesting a lot, which feels so good. I'm connecting with old friends from childhood and high school, which is a trip. And yeah, it's been really fun, and building my community here and finding my people, and it's really great. I love it. And, last year at this time when we told our 12-year-old that we were thinking of moving, of course, she was never going to speak to me again. I was the worst person ever. She was never going to forgive me. And now she's so happy. So I'm like, oh, thank God that worked out. But so it's great. It's really fun. I'm back here at home. I have dinner with my mom every Sunday. We go watch the Steelers together. And, because if you know anything about Pittsburgh, Steelers culture is number one. So yeah, it's been so fun. And I'm just loving it. What else can I tell you? I have an injury right now. So that's kind of a bummer. As a fitness person, I have a tendonitis in the tendon that connects your glute med to your hip, like to your pelvis. And I can't tell you how painful it is. I gotta say, I'm in physical therapy 3 times a week, and it's my favorite thing. And if I were to do it all again, I might be a physical therapist. So those are just a couple random things about what's going on right now. Also, I'm having a hot flash
Right now? Oh, let's go.
right now,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I want to take my sweater off so bad.
You know what, Erica, there no holds barred. If you need to take your sweater off, nobody's gonna care. We can even edit that out. It'll be like, oh, this is Erica
No,
part
keep
two.
it in. This is what it's all about. This is what we're talking about. Keep it
I know.
in. The good, the
Well,
bad, and the ugly.
oh, I know.
Honestly.
God, it's so, and so, yeah, so funny. I love that you brought up that too. And that's so real because, yeah, and all the changes too. And again, like I told you all at the start, you and I have a lot we connect on. I was just telling you before we started recording, my daughter's in PT 'cause she had a surgery. I've been in PT before. I mean, but going through that and then, yeah, I feel like I'm having a maybe an empathetic hot flash because, of course, but again, I'm on day 341 or whatever.
This is so exciting. You're in the home stretch.
I know. Well, yes, but now listen, I've been here before.
Okay.
I've gotten, I don't know if I've gotten this far along. I'm literally like just a few weeks away from being at 365, which again, this is such an arbitrary, stupid thing to
It
be like,
is.
it's exactly 365 days. I'm like, really? Has that been like for all of time before we had Gregorian calendars? Okay, sure.
The menopause fairies arrive.
Exactly.
And give you, the answer to the riddles 3, and then everything is fine. Yeah.
The troll under the bridge. It's like, no, then you become the troll.
I was just going to say that. We are the troll.
That's right. That's right. I mean, some days. And seriously, like I have an Instagram channel for this podcast, but I was at Fan Expo, which is like our version of Comic-Con. And like, all I did was walk briskly. I didn't run. I wasn't even breathing hard. And I walked briskly into the building. I got in line and I'm like, oh, I am sweating entirely through my shirt in front of literally everybody. So I'm like doing that thing where you're like, and mostly it's under boob sweat. So I was like, okay, so how can I hold my hands? And finally I'm like, what the F? Or what the fuck? See, I told you we could say fuck. I was like,
Yes.
I can't. I mean, I'll take care of it. So I wound up going to like a bathroom and just tucking some like paper towels under my boobs until they'd stopped sweating. So that's where we are, people. So
But that's real.
It is. And,
real.
we wear a sweater. We're like, oh, today's weather calls for sweater weather. And then later it's like, oh, it feels like it's 90 degrees. This is where we are. So
My husband's never been happier, actually, because before I hit perimenopause, I was cold all the time.
Oh.
And so we would get into bed at night and I'd put my feet on him and he would be so pissed. But now I'm like throwing covers off, and I haven't really had many vasomotor symptoms since I started hormone therapy.
Yeah.
Like this hot flash that I just had is very strange. And I think that it's probably because it's a little warm in my house right now, honestly.
maybe might be the webcam going right now, and be like, hey,
who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I know.
But,
And we don't know.
That's perimenopause and menopause. You just never know what's going to pop up no matter what you're taking.
Well, and so this brings me to my first question that I always like to ask a guest on this show. We're here to talk about menopause and all the ancillary things around it. Obviously, it's a spectrum of a topic. So I'd love to ask you, because this might segue perfectly into what you're going to answer. Is there one word that you would describe your menopause experience so far? And there doesn't have to be one word because, again, it changes day by day.
Yeah, I think there are a couple words. Word number 1 would be roller coaster. Word number 2 would be unpredictable and unexpected. That's 2 words. And I think word number 4 would be shit show.
Yep. Yeah, for real.
Little shit show.
It's a total shit show. And did you have any idea what it was going to? Now, and I want to get into this too, because you are a certified expert. So I don't know how long you've been a certified expert about menopause. Was it before you hit menopause, or did you know what was in store for you, basically?
I started experiencing symptoms of perimenopause when I was about 43. I was teaching for SoulCycle, and if you know fitness, New York City area, well, now it's pretty much all over the place globally, but I joined as a SoulCycle instructor very soon after my daughter was born. So I had a baby, and then I got on a bike and taught SoulCycle, which is like cycling on crack. I do not recommend all of the methodologies that SoulCycle imparts upon its clients. But I was teaching at SoulCycle, and I had the opportunity to teach, and I'm saying opportunity in quotes because it really sucked, to teach at 5:45 in the morning.
Woo! Girl.
And so I took it because I had a toddler at the time, and I thought it will be great. I will go teach, I will get her to daycare, and then I'll have the whole day so that I can do my work and so I can, have time. No, that killed me. And I started experiencing major symptoms of perimenopause, of course, because my sleep was disrupted. I was doing it twice a week. I did it for 7 months. And finally I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. I can't do
No.
it. But I didn't know what was happening until I started researching. And at that time, I was certified in group exercise and cycling and like all kinds of things. But once that happened, I was like, I think my body doesn't like this. I think my body doesn't like getting up at 4:30 in the morning.
Sure.
Imagine that. And I don't want to do anaerobic workouts 10 times a week anymore. And then I left SoulCycle because I had an opportunity to start producing streaming fitness content. Now, this was during the 2018, 2019 big boom of streaming
Yeah.
fitness pre-pandemic. And I had the opportunity to create a method and a team for a new startup streaming fitness company. And so I started producing and building my own team. And I was like, there's really no programming out there for women of a certain age and women who don't want to hit it hard all the time. You know,
Right.
hit workouts were all the rage and all that. So I was like, I think I'm going to go deeper into these certifications. And that's when I started getting certified in the programming for the female client, understanding hormones, like the glute axis activation and how we're very quad heavy. And I just got
Yeah.
into all the nerdy stuff because I love, I always say I'm a lady in the streets and a freak in the spreadsheets. I love the data, right? I love the data. And I just started leaning in. And in 2018, I was working for a very well-known fitness company producing workouts, and they shut down the East Coast operation. And so I had to lay off my entire team of instructors. And then 6 months later, after doing a massive migration project of all the workouts and everything to another platform, I found myself without a job. And I was like, okay, I don't want to work for the man anymore. And so I started teaching out of my, on Zoom because we were still in that moment. And then I was served an ad for a menopause coaching certification by this amazing women-owned company called Girls Gone Strong. And oh my gosh, I cannot say enough good things about these people. Anyway, it was a very expensive cert. And I was like, I don't know. I just lost my job. Like, I just don't want to spend, $1,200 on this certification. Like, what am I going to do with it? And so I pushed it off. And that's when I got certified on all the other things, like understanding hormones and like getting into it every other way that I could, And then I was considering doing this certification, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to crowdsource to my people, and I'm just going to send out an email and put it on social and say, I'm going to have a little fireside chat. And if you feel like you're going through menopause or perimenopause and you don't know what's going on, like, let's just get together on Zoom and talk about it. And I expected maybe 12 or 15 people to sign up. I got 78 people.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, shit. And I signed up for that certification the next day.
Yep. You're like, there's a demand here.
Yeah. And it was the greatest thing I ever did. I'm so grateful. And I actually just bought the next level of the certification called Menopause Plus, which I have the textbook here.
There's a plus for menopause? Wow. Nice.
And this is all updated information. And this talks about like GLP-1s and all the latest exercise. Like, when I tell you this is the most thorough certification I have ever done. And I also have to say, I get extremely pissed off when I see all of these women on social media yapping about menopause and people listening to them, and they're not certified. I am not about that. I'm like integrity to the teeth. If I'm going to have other women's bodies in my hands, I want to have the receipts,
Yeah,
This is a
absolutely.
little one compared to the first one. The first one was 450 pages, right? And all the quizzes and tests and all the things. And I'm just showing you this because, like, it's not a made up thing.
Right.
I mean, social media and the way that people are monetizing menopause these days, it is a real thing. And you need someone to help you through it who has scienced back certifications. And so I don't know how I got on this topic, but anyway, what was the question?
Oh, no, you did great. Because like I was asking, like, where, were you an expert at this before you started experiencing menopause? You're like, no, this kind of led you into it. But I love that you showed us that too. I mean, I feel like I look at that, you showed that book, which is the plus part. You've already been through an initial one. I'm like, to me, I'm like, I feel like that might be more training that you've taken than like normal doctors ever are required to take or have been required to take thus far in decades and ages past about this thing that hits over 50% of the population inevitably. But it's a big relief. Like it feels very validating. Thank you for showing and telling with that book, because it's like, okay, so we're not crazy. It's not just like, oh, blow this off. This is just suck it up, ladies, because it's like, this is what every woman has gone through. It's like, yes, but my God, we have science and knowledge now. Can we make it a bit easier? And so it is very validating to feel like, okay, there is stuff that someone like you can know and then help guide someone to say, it doesn't have to be shitty.
No. And part of what I do with my clients the most is help them advocate for themselves with their physician.
Yep.
And I will tell you and your listeners that there is a website out there. It is called menopause.org. And if you go to menopause.org, you can search their database for a menopause certified physician in your area. You can look by zip code. And so the first thing I did when I moved to Pittsburgh was go on menopause.org, because the person who delivered your babies, if you have children, might not be the person who is the best doctor for you as you enter this new phase of life.
That's right.
And you're right. There are a lot of doctors that did not get additional continued education around the menopause journey. And you know, they don't get, it's not required. So they have to seek it out. So that's why the Menopause Society lists the people who did seek out that certification and that extra education. And they are certified by the National American Menopause Society. And so they know the value of hormone therapy. They can talk to you about it, and they can suggest other things if you don't want to take hormone therapy, or for you if the risks outweigh the benefits, which is a very small population of women.
Sure.
So it's really important to know that, like, while I have all this, a lot of my work has to do with validation and advocacy.
Yeah.
It's wild.
No, I so appreciate that. And I want to, let's dig into your work. I want to really let you kind of highlight your approach, because you're helping people through being a certified menopause coach specialist.
Right.
But we also mentioned in your bio, you've got certifications in understanding hormones, programming for the female client. I love that title, by the way. And heart rate performance. So please, I'd love to give you some more floor time here. Expand more. Like, how does your approach help? You know, I love that you called it the women in your hands, because we really are. We're entrusting this major part of, like, we literally all, we feel like different people when we hit menopause. Like, okay, someone just did a body swap, and now I've got something new I've never dealt with before. We feel very vulnerable. So please share with us, like, what is your approach through your certifications and stuff? Like, how are you helping women? Tell us all about it.
Well, the first thing is, my job is to validate what you are going through first and foremost.
Yeah.
And let you know that I'm a soft space to land. And I'm going through it myself. I think I'm in perimenopause. We could talk about that later. But my approach is every single person with a uterus, and I'm saying person with a uterus because trans people also go through menopause.
That's right.
And I really want to give visibility to that. Mm-hmm. Every person with a uterus experiences menopause and perimenopause and postmenopause differently. And so there is no one size fits all, like, I'm going to fix you, right? Like, no. First of all, you don't need to be fixed at all. Yeah. This is happening, and it's going to happen to all of us. No matter how well we do with our nutrition, we're still going to go through menopause, you know? But what I start with, well, when I work with my private clients, I start with a huge intake of, like, symptoms and symptoms for everything from, you know, stress-related incontinence to hot flashes to itchy skin. I mean, there are 65, 70 different symptoms of menopause. One of mine was ringing in the ears, which is so annoying. Yeah. Anyway, so I start with that, and then we talk about what they want in this last chapter, and because it is the last chapter. Yeah. Once we hit menopause, that's it. We never go back.
That's right.
So what do we want that to look like? What do you want what's important to you? Yeah. What are the things that you want to grow old doing? You know, if you are a hiker or you are if you love to bake delicious foods, or if everybody loves different things. So we start with, what do you want to do? How can we set you up so that you spend the rest of your life doing what you want and just squeezing out the longest health span that you possibly can?
Yeah.
Women have a longer lifespan than men, but women have a shorter health span than men. So women are way more likely to die of heart disease. Women, I think, are 70% more likely to develop dementia. Women have osteoporosis and osteopenia, and that's directly related to hormones. So our health span sucks.
Yeah.
So we want to extend that as long as we possibly can. And we can do that through lifestyle work. And that's what the work that I do. I am not a doctor. I'm not going to tell you, take this supplement. I'm not prescribing you shit. I am going to tell you where to find your doctor. I'm going to tell you what questions to ask your doctor, and I can help you with the answers to that and help you take action. But I am not a doctor, and I am very comfortable with my scope of practice and referring out.
Yeah.
Like, when in doubt, refer out. That's
Yeah.
because I know my place. And so my place is to take your life and break it down into the pillars of exercise, nutrition, stress management, sleep, and self-care.
Yeah.
And self-care, not like the trendy self-care, but really deeply, like my number one thing, another one that I talk to women about all the time is boundaries. You have to set boundaries. That is self-care. That's the kind of self-care I'm talking about.
Nice.
And so we work together to find a formula and tweak their lifestyle so that they can optimize their health basically for free without having to deal with paying for this supplement and that supplement, because menopause has been monetized in the last 3 years or so in a big, but that's kind of how I work with my people. And it's
I
really,
love it. Well, I mean, how many of us, and again, anyone watching or listening to this, if you're going through any stage of menopause and are pretty much, what the fuck, you're, and even worse is, and we've had guests on here too, who, through their menopause experience and their journey, go to their provider, the person they've probably gone to for years, and say, okay, I'm feeling this way. And here's things. I had this happen to me. I was about 47 when I was like, my hair has turned to straw and I'm feeling my husband wants to get it on with me. And I'm like, close for business. Cause what the hell, I'm super dry and it's uncomfortable. And also I don't want to and all that stuff. And then, yes. And even like, okay. And I work out the same way I have been. And I'm suddenly getting this lovely big apron fat on my belly, which everybody loves. It's so awesome.
so great.
Oh my God. But I remember telling my doctor that, and they were like, oh, well, let's prescribe you some sleep medication, something. You must be anxious, and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, but how is anxiety making my hair straw? I mean, I could see it falling out, but is that, and they're like, oh, just bit. And it took me a year. The only thing that convinced my doctor to take any of that seriously, and finally, like, she prescribed me on, like, she referred me to a midwifery around here, Cherry Hills Midwifery, to like actually get a hormone panel and stuff, was because I finally said, look, I asked my mom when she went through menopause and she said she was 48. Guess how old I was? 48 at that time. And then I guess you can be going through menopause.
What do you mean? I guess you can be. It is a fact
Thank you.
You are in the window. Like, it's inevitable. That's the window.
Well, and it's so important. I loved like two things else you said too, because you're just like, hey, it's different for every woman. And yes, that DNA, that, knowing if you have the ability to ask your mother how old you were, and if that's okay, their correlation. There might not be, though. There's no written thing saying, oh, of course you're going to hit menopause the same time your mom does or did. But the other thing, I've not heard that term before, and it really makes a lot of sense, the lifespan versus the health span. Wow, that was eye-opening right there, because it's like, you do think about that. I mean, yeah, we might live longer, but goodness. And I'll share a personal anecdote. Like, my husband, his mother passed away. She had cancer. She was 84 years old. But I think about I've known her for 2 decades, and the quality of life she had due to her health was not great. And so much of this, like, yeah, you might live to a certain age. How healthy are we? How healthy can we be? it really, you're just presenting people with an advocate to say, I know a lot of shit. I'm not a doctor, but I know a lot of shit about what you're going through. And I know how I can help you talk to a medical provider to get what you need, but also dial in, like, it's not a formulaic solution that's going to get you through, really trying to tweak it. And I really appreciate that custom approach. I think we all wish we could have that as we're entering this phase, feel like we have a partner of some kind who knows more about it than we do. So I really appreciate what you're offering.
Oh, yeah. Well, I love doing it. And I always learn more. The more people I work with, the more I hear about symptoms that I haven't dealt with that often or that I haven't experienced myself. And it's a great learning experience for me. And also, like, people are at a different level with their comfort about sharing things about it. And it's kind of fun because some people I'll start right with nutrition. Some people I'll start right with stress management or sleep hygiene. And so it's never boring.
Yeah.
It's always fun. And my favorite thing is when they come to me and say, oh my God, I finally am not scared anymore to talk to my doctor about stuff. Or I finally switched doctors because this person was gaslighting me. Or I decided to start hormone therapy and I feel so much better. I also wanted to touch really quickly before we move on what you said about how your doctor wanted to prescribe you an anti-anxiety medication.
Yeah.
My doctor wanted to prescribe me an antidepressant, and that was one of my main symptoms. And I want to highlight that here because people don't think about the mental health aspect of going through perimenopause and these hormonal changes. Hormonal anxiety and depression are a major symptom and can be very, very debilitating.
Yeah.
I have been a fitness professional for 20 years and I have gone deep into spiritual practices and meditation and all the shit. And I could not pull myself out of the cyclical depression that I was experiencing. And finally, I had called my doctor and I had an appointment and he offered me Zoloft. And I said no, because I was like, I just don't think that's it.
Right.
But, he had given me topical vaginal estrogen, which, by the way, is safe for everybody. And it can help with all of those genitourinary symptoms of menopause, which are all the pelvic health, the bladder, the UTI, the vaginal dryness and itching, and the thinning of the vaginal wall. Like, every woman should be on vaginal estrogen for the rest of her damn life. It's going to help everything so much.
Yes.
Pain with sex, like, take that away. And then we're like, oh, well, maybe, So I did go on the Zoloft because I was really experiencing, it was like a dire situation for me. I was crying and I was like, this is not who I am. Like, I don't understand this. And so I took the medication because it was saving my sanity at the moment. So I want to tell anybody who's listening, who's experiencing symptoms of depression or anxiety, if you need to take medicine for that, take the medicine for that. It's okay. I took it. I weaned off it after I started hormone therapy. I was feeling fine. And then I had a very, very dear friend pass away last year of cancer very suddenly. Within 2 months of telling us he had cancer, he was gone. And I was so upset. I went back on it. Because guess what? You're allowed to. You're allowed to. If it helps you sleep at night and it helps keep the intrusive thoughts away, take the shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I have since upgraded my hormone therapy. So my dosage is a little heavier and I'm now currently almost done weaning off of it. And this is life. Like, you have to take care of your mental health. And it's so, so important because if you cannot get out of bed in the morning, you're not going to move the needle around how your menopause symptoms feel.
That's exactly right. And I mean, I want to take this opportunity to say fuck cancer.
Fuck cancer.
I think literally everybody can say it with their whole chest. But thank you for pointing that out too. That's absolutely an aspect of this. And get the help you need. Absolutely. Whatever, like you said, if you're at like, I can't get out of bed in the morning, get the help. Everybody wants you to feel like you can at least face the day, because if you can't even get out of bed, and it's hard to even help yourself, let alone when you've got people depending on you, which can also feel like a lot. I want to ask, like, from your perspective and expertise in menopause, what is at least one major aspect you want our audience to be aware or mindful of? And in addition to stuff we've already talked about, but is there like something you're like, if people had to take this away with them today, what's one thing you want them to keep in mind?
Oh, I think it would be, if you don't move it, you will lose it. If you don't move it, you will lose it. And
Yeah.
so my call to action today is to move your body. I don't care
Yep.
how you do it. Start with what you like, but you have to stay strong. If you are a woman,
Yeah.
you need to strength train,
Yes.
resistance train, because your bones, listen, estrogen is an incredibly protective hormone. And when it goes away, our bone density decreases, our lean muscle mass decreases, our fat increases, and it affects our heart. And we have a tendency to develop heart disease, stroke, heart attack, blockages. And also, we tend to, our sugar goes up. So we become pre-diabetic. I am pre-diabetic. I'm like, what in the hell? Our cholesterol goes up, our
Yeah.
sugar goes up. Move your body. Move your body because A, it's going to help you sleep better when you move your body. It's going to help with your stress. It's going to help so many aspects of your life, and it's going to help your health span because you will stay mobile, you will have balance on your side, and you will be building strength in your bones. Because
Yeah.
I don't want you falling and breaking a hip when you are older
Yeah.
and susceptible to more disease, because you'll go into the hospital with a broken hip and you'll get sepsis and die, right?
Yeah.
Don't do that. We can prevent that.
Yeah.
We can prevent that.
Yeah.
Get a DEXA scan, do it. Get the calcium screening MRI. Just like take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Put yourself first in that way and just move your body. If you don't move it, you lose it. If you have joint pain, deal with the joint pain however you need to and do it safely. If you need more advice on that, let me know.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I love about this weekend. Like, okay, you said strength training, how do I start and things like that. But the goal is to start. And I so appreciate that too. And especially if like, and I have a sedentary kind of job where it's like I do podcasts and I produce that, I do digital stuff. And so it is a lot. I have a standing desk, but that's barely moving. You really do need to have that intent and build back what you start just automatically losing in this, like you said, final stage of our life.
Totally. And it doesn't have to be an hour a day. You could
Right.
literally, for you, since you stand up once an hour, set an alarm and do 10
Yes.
squats. That's going to regulate your blood sugar as well.
Nice.
Just 10 squats
I
every
love it.
hour on the hour.
I love it.
Or get down and do a plank for a little while or some push-ups against the wall, anything to mobilize your body. It's just going to help with your metabolism. It's going to help with your
Yes.
mental health. It's going to help you feel like you've done something for the day. So I'm all about movement snacks and I do them all the time.
I love that. Movement snacks.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, see, when you say it like that, I love snacks anyway.
We
Now I want to
love
go have a movement
snacks.
snacks. Oh my God, that's so cool. Oh,
Snacks are great in all
giving me all this
forms.
stuff. I love this. For women who haven't yet experienced menopause, so if anyone's watching or listening, so you're like, I ain't there yet. Y'all are talking about this thing that's coming down the pipe. What would you want to say to those folks?
Start strength training now. Take care of your sleep schedule. Be consistent with your sleep schedule and make it cold when you go to sleep. Yes, make it cold. There's a difference between being warm enough or being cold and made warm by a blanket, right?
That is absolute facts.
And I would tell them to really just read up on things and know that whenever it happens, because it is inevitable, it's okay. And there are a lot of resources out there now, which is wonderful. It's the wonderful part of Gen X bringing menopause into the mainstream, because we
right.
did that shit.
We
were
did
like,
it.
we did. Our parents were like, and also our parents were the victims of the WHI study that said hormone therapy caused cancer, which has now been debunked. And the FDA finally came through
Finally.
a week ago to remove the black box warning, which should help with your being able to advocate for yourself with your doctor, because you could say, hey, the FDA says it's safe.
Yeah.
And if you are experiencing symptoms of menopause and you're still in your 30s, I want you to know that you could be in perimenopause.
You really
A lot
could.
of people start in their 30s. It's not too late. And you can still get pregnant in perimenopause. So be careful if that's not what you want.
That's right. It's not, yeah, that's such a great thing too, to be like, no, just because you're in perimenopause doesn't mean you automatically have, birth control automatically built in. No.
No.
These are so
And
important.
if you are on synthetic birth control and your doctor says that they're not going to put you on hormone therapy because it's too dangerous, your synthetic birth control carries so many more risks than hormone replacement therapy.
Yeah. Yeah. See, these are things we need to know. It's good to know. But thank you for sharing that. We're going to segue into, in our last little bit together, some get to know you questions, a little more on the
okay.
casual side. All right. Where do you picture yourself when you want to be catapulted away from real life? Like it's the whole Calgon take me away thing. But like if you could just be transported, where are you going to be?
So my family has a cottage in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And if you've never been to the UP, it is the best kept secret in the United States. It is the most beautiful, untouched, pure land ever. And so we have a cottage on the water, and there's nothing more soothing to me than walking out to the end of the dock with a cup of coffee and just sitting and listening to the water against the dock. That's always my Calgon take me away moment. Like, just take me there. Or I've never been there in the winter because winters are fucking awful there.
They are hilariously awful.
But take me there in the winter so I can be cold with a warm blanket.
That's right. And be cold and be made warm. I love that. Well, this one, we might have highlighted this one earlier in the podcast, actually. What article or type of clothing have you decided should be thrown into a fire of 1,000 suns, never to be worn again? And you could talk about the sweater you're wearing if you want, because hot flash.
No,
But,
I think the thong bodysuit has to go.
oh my God, yes.
The thong bodysuit. There's a comedian, I've seen it on Instagram 1,000 times, and every time I see it, I stop and watch the whole thing because she's so funny. She's like, who decided it was a good idea to take a perfectly good t-shirt and for the perfect tuck to shove it directly up your asshole?
I see, you know what? And I see, okay, there's two problems with what I'm going to say. I see these at thrift stores. No. And B, no. Like A, why did somebody say, oh, this can belong to somebody else after it has been where you just said in someone's asshole?
Yeah.
B, and I see that I'm like, oh God, no. Why? I mean, I could just like, why would I want to do that to my body? Enough shit's going on already. There's no need for that shit. So I love that is, yes. Now I'm going to think of this.
Bodysuit's got to go. No,
I'm going to
thank
think
you.
of this episode next time I go to the thrift store and inevitably see that thing on the rack.
Also, I am a massive thrifter.
Yes.
So I could have another hour-long conversation. Everything you see in
Oh,
this,
love that.
all thrifted, all of it, or given to me for free.
I love that.
I love sustainable decorating and I love thrifting. I just find it to be the ultimate dopamine hit.
It is. Well, it's great because you're like, oh my God, I got this. You know, it's definitely like Macklemore's, you know, I'm going to go pop some tags. That song was like, yes, thank you.
Yes.
That is glory. That is glory right there.
Yeah.
Final question before I ask where we can go find your resources and you online. Is there a charity or a for good cause organization you'd like our audience to know about that's making a difference, or somewhere where we can direct our rage and our action for good?
I love this question. My best friend from college is the executive director of a wonderful charity in New Jersey called Table to Table. And they work with restaurants, delis, catering companies, and convenience stores to take the food that is not used and deliver it and connect it with food banks and shelters and places where people are experiencing scarcity with food. So I love this charity so much. It's called Table to Table. In Pittsburgh, there's one that I am going to take my daughter to do some volunteering with. It's called 412 Food Rescue, and it's the same concept. And I believe it was the inspiration for Table to Table. They did a conference last year and they were all together, which is really fun. So yeah, I think that food insecurity is obviously a huge hot button item right now. And I just love the idea of being able to take what is already beautifully prepared and deliver it to people who need it to give them a delicious meal.
Love it. Thank you for that. And you're right. It's especially prescient right now. So thank you for that. And final question, where can our listeners and audience find and follow you online and find your resources?
So I am at erickashannon.com. It's Erika with a K. erickashannon.com, and I have a ton of resources. I have little ebooks. I have a course that I teach called Menopause. It's a 6-week coaching that I do once a quarter, and I am doing one in January. So
Nice.
I would love to send you a code for everyone to get my 10-day menopause crash course for free.
Awesome.
For your listeners. And that is just an email delivered crash course with videos from me that kind of highlight all the different aspects of perimenopause and menopause and tell you a little bit about what's happening to your body. It's a great kind of like gateway drug to
Love
the
it.
deeper stuff.
I love gateway drugs. Good. Yes, we like that.
We
But
like gateway drug.
yeah, we'll put that in the show notes because it would be great to like just let people on board over there and just get access to all the things that are going to help them through this.
Yeah. And also I host about once a month, I host something called a Meno party. I do these free Meno parties every month and it's on Zoom. So you can join from anywhere. And I either host alone or with experts who talk about different things. So last week I had a Meno party and I brought on a style expert who talked about dressing for your body type. And so we talked about all the different body types. We talked about how to dress them. And we talked about the meno belly, which I kind of hate that word so much.
Roll off the tongue.
I hate that word, but it is what it is. And how to dress yourself for it and how having that extra weight around your body does not change the fact that you have one body type.
That's right.
Even if you have a belly. So it was a really awesome, really fun Meno party. And
Awesome.
yeah, and so you can watch the replays of them on my YouTube channel. I'm Ericka Shannon Movement everywhere on social.
Thank you so much. That's so great. We are totally going to check you out. And with that, y'all, we're going to wrap today. Erika, thanks so much for being our guest on the podcast, but going to go check things out. And it's just, again, good to know we've got commiseration, we've got camaraderie, but we've got support, especially through people like you. So thank you so much. We'll definitely check out your resources. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so much fun to meet you. And I feel like we're going to be friends.
We are, absolutely, because we're all in this together, sister. Ugh.
Amen.
So that's been the Day Since Last Incident podcast on the MenopauseIt channel. Thanks so much for watching and listening. If you liked this video or reacted strongly to it, like it on YouTube, like it right here. If you would like to hear more and like to keep commiserating and learning, subscribe. That'd be great. Really appreciate it. But liking is a great way to show support, and share it with folks. That's a big way too. But yeah, thank you so much. And we'll be back with some more content here on the MenopauseIt channel.